Hello there. Welcomes to Fridays with Father. This is my first Fridays with Father. I know that you've seen this many times before with other priests, so please bear with me and have patience. But we're restarting this up so that you can get to spend a little time with me via the internet each week, and I will talk about something or answer questions, which is what I intend to do today. At my arrival kind of party, the park and picnic event, you were passed out cards and asked to write questions for me to answer. So I'm going to start today by just answering some of the questions that you gave me, kind of randomly. I'm not really prepared for this other than to tell you, what I think and, what I know to be true. And then if I don't get through them all today, then I can do it on another occasion, okay? Anyway, somebody wrote this question. It said, you mentioned you went to the seminary in Spain. How did you learn Spanish well enough to do that? Very good question. Well, I didn't learn Spanish well enough to do everything immediately. It's one of those things which you grow into. I mean, I did do high school Spanish, and then when we were sent to Spain, we had to live with a Spanish family for the first 6 weeks. So we were immersed in the Spanish language. And then at the end of that, we were sent directly to the university to take lectures in Spanish. Now, as you can imagine, my vocabulary and my ability to speak the language was very limited. So suddenly I had to deal with learning philosophy through Spanish. It was a big challenge, but with the help of my classmates and lots of note-taking, little by little it became more possible. And over a period of time, it really was immersion learning, and so that's how I did it, really. Okay? And it said, how did it come about that you came to the US? And what made you decide to do that? Well, after about being a priest for 6 years in a parish in South Wales, where I was very happy and had lots of wonderful times, my Archbishop said to me, well, maybe you want to think about going to do some further study. And I said, yes, okay. And I was interested at the time in ritual and liturgy. So I began to investigate where were the best places to study liturgy for pastoral settings throughout the world. I really wanted to go somewhere like Paris or Rome, but it turned out the place that had the best program at that time was CTU in Chicago. And so I applied, and I got it, and I got in. So that's how I came to Chicago. I'd never really planned to come here, but I came, and I really enjoyed it. And I fell in love with Chicago and with the church in Chicago. And I started on my weekends to help out in a Spanish-speaking parish because they needed a priest that could do Mass in Spanish, and that was me. So that kind of convinced me that maybe God was pushing me in this direction. And I decided that really I should, see if I could stay here for a while. My bishop gave me permission, and then I stayed. So 22 years later, I'm still here and very happy with it too. And then the other question was Jonah your first pet while being a priest? Yes, that's true. Jonah is my first pet as a priest. And the next question is, the name Jonah is biblical. How did you choose that name for Jonah? Well, my associate and I were going to pick up Jonah the very first day, and we didn't have a name for him. And so in the car, we decided to go through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, and just to shout out all the different names that came. So I said J, and it was Jamie, Jeremy, John, and then my associate shouted out Jonah. And we thought, Jonah. And we went a bit further with names, and then we came back to Jonah, thinking, well, let's see. If he looks like a Jonah, then we'll call him Jonah. Anyway, when we eventually got to the place where we were picking him up, we picked up Jonah, we looked at him and we said, yeah, he looks like a Jonah to us. And so Jonah was the name we gave him. So there you are. Um, what did you? When did you become a diocesan priest, and what order did you belong to before? And how old is Jonah? Well, let's start at the end first. Jonah is 9, going on 10, so he's middle-aged like me. And I became a diocesan priest when I was ordained. I never belonged to an order. So I was a diocesan priest for the Archdiocese of Cardiff in Wales. And then when I transferred, or I incardinated to Chicago, I became a priest of the Archdiocese of Chicago. I was interested when I was younger in becoming a Redemptorist. But that's for another story, but I ended up being a diocesan priest. Greetings, Father Jeremy. What kind of music do you enjoy? For a while, I went off music. I just stopped listening to it, but then I came back onto it. Music's always been a part of my life, I suppose. And, I was born in the late 60s, so I'm a product, really, of the 70s and the 80s. So my music tastes would be Kate Bush, Fleetwood Mac, and ABBA. And then in Espanol, Isabel Pantoja, Chabela Vargas, and a group called Los Secretos. That would be, but I like other kinds of music too, but that's just off the top of my head. What brought you to the US? Well, I've told you that. How long have you been in the Chicago area? 22, 23 years. Have you traveled throughout the States? Yes, I have, and I enjoy doing that. I've seen quite a lot of places, and I enjoy small towns as much as big cities. What's the most interesting place you have visited? Without doubt, the Holy Land. I've been there twice now, and it's a fascinating place because, it speaks to the heart, it speaks to our faith, and I probably would like to go back again, Welcome to the Church of the Holy Spirit. We would like to know you more. First, where did you come from, or what parish did you come from? Well, I came from Wales originally. Where did I come from now? I was the administrator of a very small and lovely little parish called St. Stephen, King of Hungary, in Chicago, on Augusta and Damon. Lovely people. That was like my part-time job. I lived there. But my main job was working for the Archdiocese as the vicar for priests. So I worked with priests mainly for the last 3 years. Before that, I was pastor at St. Jerome Parish in Rogers Park on the north side of Chicago. And my heart is still very close to the people there, and I miss them. What else did it say? Maybe you can tell us more about you. Well, I will, I'm hope to be here for quite some time, so you'll get to know me. I'm also looking forward to getting to know you, and you can tell me more about you, So, what were you planning to do with your life before you chose to be a priest? This goes back, I think, my vocation kind of goes back to I was 14. But prior to that, I was interested in being at one stage a chef, a tour guide, and a social worker, I think. I thought of that too. But it was never serious, I got serious, I suppose, when I was 14, and then it was the priesthood for me, really. I just thought that was the right thing. How many people in your family, and where were you raised? Well, we are 4 boys. My eldest brother is Neil, then there's me, Jeremy, then below me is Jason, and then my youngest brother is Matthew, and my mother and my father, Hazel and Bernard, and they all still live in Cardiff in Wales, except for my youngest brother Matthew, who lives in London. What order do I belong to? I don't belong to an order. I'm a diocesan priest, and my boss is the Cardinal Supich of Chicago. And maybe one more. Somos parte del grupo de jóvenes. ¿Qué cambios vas a hacer en el grupo de jóvenes? This is from the people who are from the youth group, and they're saying, what changes are you going to make to the youth group? None. I'm just looking forward to working with you. If there's any changes happening, hopefully it'll be through the Holy Spirit and through your hard work. I very much support youth ministry. I've done a lot of work with young people, but I really believe in the leaders coming from the young people themselves. So if there are changes to be made, I'm hoping that you will make them, and I'll be there to support you. Entonces, pues para contestar en español, pues no va a haber ningún cambio, ¿eh? Yo no tengo planes para cambiar nada. Si haya cambios, será pues el Espíritu Santo que nos inspire, o más bien que les inspire a ustedes. Y yo creo mucho en de que pues el liderazgo que venga, sí, del pueblo, no de la gente, de ustedes mismos. Okay? Good questions. And what are your favorite hobbies? Hobbies are a problem for me. It says, what do you like doing in your spare time outside of the church? I like watching Netflix. I like to read. I like to swim. I do that. I recently joined the pool here. And I enjoy just looking at the wall. You know, that really, I like silence. So I like silence. But I've been looking to do or to find a hobby for myself for some time, but nothing quite fits. More recently, and especially during the lockdown, I did a lot of baking. I started to make my own bread and cakes, which I really, really like doing. So I might do more of that. The only problem is, once I've made them, then I have to eat them. That's an issue when you're past your 50s, you know. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time from you today. There are some more questions, and I'll save them for another occasion. But if you do have more questions, you can send them to the office via email, or you can leave me a voicemail here. Or if you've got any ideas about what you'd like me to talk about during Fridays with Father, just let me know, okay? But for now, I've been happy to spend this time with you, and I'll be again here next Friday, talking about something different, and let's see what the Holy Spirit says, right? But for now, from me and from Jonah, who's asleep on the floor here, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you at Mass. And I know there was something I was supposed to say at the end of this, and I can't remember what it was. Oh no, when I finish, I'm supposed to remain still, okay? So anyway, take care, God bless. I'll see you at Mass on Sunday. Cheers.